Good afternoon, all of you. क्या था last point? Models of e-governance. Okay. I think I discussed models of e-governance. Challenges, hurdles. Okay, the last point, in fact. Challenges, hurdles of e-governance. Yes, again, here the challenges is not just criticism, but what more's to be done. Okay, you cannot say the idea of e-governance is bad. Yes, what could be the challenges? Digital education, very good. Cyber security, yes, good. It cannot reach everybody. Okay, somebody was asking for the opinion on demonetization through the app. Now think of how many people can really participate. Okay, so that's the problem. That when public opinion has to be ascertained as something on a application, so first you need to ensure that whether the application is available. Second, you need to ensure that whether the people are literate enough, digital literacy, what we call. Third is whether they have the soft skills to read the question and put their whatever the opinions are. Okay, yes. What else? Universal access, yes. Digital divide. What else? Digital literacy, particularly. Okay, Yes, in fact, first start with the infrastructural challenges. Infrastructural challenge. This includes everything, right? Here, infrastructure challenge. Although we have taken yesterday those 4 models, these are the 4 models of delivery. This is the face of e-governance. Okay, that G2C, G2B, G2G, C2G. This is a front face of e-governance. इस front face के पीछे SWAN वगैरह चीजें रहती है. You understand this? LAN, that is a local area network. So this SWAN is a backbone of e-governance. SWAN is a state-wide area network. Okay. So this is a sort of hardware or infrastructure, and this is sort of a software delivery of services from the front end. So it's not that simple to put E in front of every service and that job is done. Okay. So infrastructure challenge, a huge infrastructure. That is in fact, e-governance in India, 1 billion population to be connected through the online platform. It's a huge task, monstrous task. Apart from that, this also involves the capital investment. It is not something like what is the capital investment in each. You need to have a computer, internet connections, then optic fiber network throughout the country. So optic fiber network throughout the country, then you need to have a computer in each department, in each room, in each panchayat, etc. Then apart from that, once creation is also not important, there is a maintenance also. Okay, over a period of time, you need to maintain the minimum speed also. So it's not a one-time investment. So the challenge, infrastructural challenge, is with the resource constraint. And this is related with creation of infrastructure as well as maintenance of infrastructure. Creation and maintenance of infrastructure. Okay, so here is general point I have written. So everything from optic fiber, maintaining the internet speed, okay, capital investment, computerization, okay, everything. In fact, all panchayat under this need to be computerized. there should be a minimum broadband speed, there should be a person, human resource also, infrastructure mein, because you need to have a people who are trained in the in this information and technology knowledge. Second is with respect to the security. Okay, this is what somebody has called cyber security. So issues of cyber security. In fact, the case of this Edward Snowden has exposed the vulnerability of this platform. Okay, Edward Snowden, have you heard of his name? Yes, the US whistleblower. So the snooping scandal and etc. So there is a vulnerability of this platform. In fact, frequently we came across the news also that different government websites have been hacked. The data theft has happened. Sabotaging is done. In fact, this is a when you learn internal security, you will learn that cyber security has various components: cyber spionage, cyber security, cyber crime, cyber terrorism also. Okay, so the kind of unprecedented damage that can happen, okay, through conventional media nowadays on a cyber platform also, or cyber platform can be used to cause unprecedented damage in the form of cyber terrorism. So cyber security range from a simple one like stealing the password and taking the data to an cyber terrorism also. In fact, it's a component of this only, but we can write separately. Issues with respect to privacy. Issues with respect to privacy. Yes, what is included in this? What do you can think about privacy related issue? क्या हो सकता है e-governance में? हाँ, data is not only stolen, that is one, or misuse also. Okay, in fact, this the whole Aadhaar card. If you have been keeping a tab on the current affairs, there have been a lot of discussion with respect to this. Okay, privacy. Like you are giving a biometric information, and this information will be like stored in the electronic format. Now, this information, first, it can be stolen also. It can be misused also. Misused by the authorized player, okay, the state government for the political vendetta or for any reasons it can be misused. Okay, so the issue of misuse of personal data and these are the issues of privacy. There are a lot many things can be discussed here in case of privacy. Okay, the information when taken, whether the information is being used for the said purpose. So anything apart from said purpose is that is a threat to the privacy of individual. In fact, this NatGreed, Aadhaar, okay, there are different mechanisms through which they collect the personal data, sensitive information of an individual. So this sensitive information, okay, that the issue of privacy is also. So these are something from the, in fact, you remember whenever there is a cyber and electronics, you can use this general internal security, etc. Infrastructure challenges, security challenges, issues of privacy. Now there are certain basic aspects with respect to the accessibility, okay, with respect to issues or problems with respect to accessibility. Accessibility. So there are general issues such as poverty. How poverty is an issue of e-governance. People don't have a square meal, okay, or bread and butter. Now you are imagining them to use the electronic services. Now, in fact, using of electronic service also at receiving end, you require certain capital investment. You require either a smartphone or you require a laptop, computer, desktop, laptop, smartphone. So think of those people who are not able to get square meal of food and then are using then smartphone and etc. all laptop, desktop. That's the one. Second is internet. You require a monthly pack and internet services. So poverty is a very basic thing unless and until you yes, increases the purchasing power of a person so that he can then reach to the point where he will take the services through the online platform. So that's a very basic as a poverty. Then second, say for example, somebody has an economic capacity to get it, but then there is a digital literacy. Digital illiteracy or digital literacy, issue of digital literacy, you can say that. issue of digital literacy, or in fact the whole points, okay, this all accessibility issues generally called digital divide in India. There is a digital divide. In fact, many times these terms are used in essay also, okay, that divide between Bharat and India. Okay, there are two Indias, or two countries living within the India. When we say about the modern educated urban class and then people living in the rural hinterland. So there is a lot of digital divide. Digital literacy is one part of them, poverty is another part of them, etc., etc. So here, not only the infrastructure, that is accessibility, but the literacy is also required. Then there are language barriers also. I'll explain. Language barrier. Language barrier again from both the ends, because most of the time the data is available in the form of either in the English language or maybe in the Hindi language. These days we are in the transitional stage, so slowly there has been also like transformation with respect to conversion of this language into the local language also. Many times you must have seen that user interface is kept in the local language, but the moment you click some PDF file, then again the information comes in English or maybe in Hindi, particularly in case of if you go south, they don't know even the Hindi. Okay, so that their language barrier is also has become an important hurdle for. So there has to be a seamless conversion of all the government files on the data, okay, in the local language, the language that is being understood by the local level. Okay, so these are some of the issues from point of view of the people. That is a accessibility issue. Then next, there are attitudinal issues. Attitudinal issues. Attitudinal. Yes. Can you think what can be the attitudinal issue? Hmm? Hmm. Yes, they don't like, they fear also, they consider this is something alien to them. They may not be very perfect, okay, whether there is a, not just about the feasibility factor, but overall attitude towards the, yes, online platform or this software thing. Yes, that's from people's point of view. Okay, people still are considering, okay, or there is no confidence with respect to using of this platform. And for confidence in terms of also, they do not know or they are not very comfortable also. They are not very enthusiastic also. At the same time, they have this fear whether the things are happening properly or not, because it happens like, say, for example, you want to submit some particular paper. You will also ensure that this is very important, let me submit it in the hard copy. So you have this fear whether there is a yes discrepancy in between. तब तक जब तक आप यूपीएससी में जाके फॉर्म हाथ से सबमिट नहीं करके आते, दिल को तसल्ली नहीं मिलती, ठीक है, कि वो गया है नहीं गया है, आई कार्ड आएगा नहीं आएगा. Okay, these are the issues because still we are in the transitional stage, and this also depends upon the efficiency and effectivity with which the e-governance is being delivered to the people. So more and more seamless delivery of the things will be there, more there will be a confidence. So in that, we need to create an awareness, okay, how to change the attitude, that is all this persuasion and attitudinal change, okay. This also can be in the form of case study also. So attitudinal change may be aa sakta hai ye. So how to change the perception of people towards this. In fact, one of the objectives we have said that simplifying the governance. Now, what is the perception of people? This is the complex things that they can never able to like avail the benefits through the online platform. Okay, so this is a misconception. As soft skill, okay, very basic minimum soft skill is required in order to like take the services through the online platform. So this misconception myths. The perception issues with regard to online can be cleared. Yes, apart from this, is there any other attitudinal problem? Huh? E-transaction, हाँ वही सब कुछ आ जाएगा. People's okay confidence में आए वो because issue of cyber security and etc. is also involved. So seamless delivery will only help in boosting their confidence. और कोई attitude, कोई stakeholder है जिसका attitude also is important. Yes, we provider. So उसके बारे में क्या है? Yes, very good. In fact, that's, I'll come to that point. Yes, what you are saying? Hmm. 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 Sometimes it's a. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So what in the conventional mode, how you used to ensure after submitting your passport? Now you are saying that it's in the process you get. Hmm. So nothing as speed is increased, etc. Yes, this is because the problem on the service provider, if they seamlessly provide, so people will not get frustrated. Confidence, how will you gain the confidence? You think of a very small, normal case. You want to recharge your card. Okay. You never use Paytm or online recharge. On one day you start using it, and for unfortunately that day the server was down, or your internet speed was less, or it was buffering, moving and moving and moving. Half an hour has happened, and the recharge wala is there in your. Yes, the moment you get down from your floor, okay, next to door, you get recharged. So your confidence is, this is very complex things, let me go to, and that is an attitude. Once or twice people will try, get to know that this is not the way, the conventional way is more better. Now think of contradictory, everything is seamless delivery of services. Within maximum 30 seconds you can recharge if you have already saved your cards and etc. So 30 seconds to 1 minute. That too, think of in the middle of the night, okay, you are, yes, that is your balance got exhausted and you wanted to recharge. And then Paytm through you have recharged. Okay, Paytm मतलब कोई भी ले लो, free charge जो भी लेना है. It's not like advertisement नहीं है. हाँ जो भी है ठीक है. So the point is क्या बता रहा था हाँ, so you will gain that confidence that this is so seamless. So ultimately it depends upon how to gain the confidence that if you are delivering the services hassle free in a very simplified manner, so it will have a positive attitude, otherwise it will go counterproductive also. Okay, so this is an challenge also, this is an opportunity also. So how you are delivering is important, certainly. Yes, service providers attitudinal point of view. In fact, bureaucracy has not been very enthusiastic with respect to the e-governance for a variety of reasons. First of all, we have seen the status quoism. This is something that a revolutionary change. Okay, so they are like status quoist or resistance to change. Status quoist attitude on part of the bureaucracy is one thing. Second thing is why there is a status quoism is because this is going to dilute their authority and the power. This is going to simplify the procedure. Now, earlier times when there was a lot of authority, procedure was complex. In fact, complex procedure has created a scope for you to harass and take a bribe. Now, if the procedure is simple, if citizen charter will be there, you know that this is in 15 minutes you can avail a service with a click of mouse. Why will you, how can a person can harass you and ask for the bribe? So there is a dilution of authority, there is a dilution of the self-interest, and those aspects are also coming. So they are not very comfortable for this platform because ultimately it is going to shift the power equation from the authority to the public. Are you understanding? This is a very core part of it. Because earlier when the files were there, files were moving and therefore the people were at the mercy of the administrator. The complex procedure in fact has given a chance for asking for the bribe. When the person is getting harassed 3-4 times, ultimately he is saying that, okay, tell me the what is a middle approach, or how can I bypass the procedure. Now there is, since the process is simple, so there are various things. There is a status quoism in general, their nature, rigidity to change. Second is the dilution of authority. Third is public service orientation. That spirit has not been yet inculcated. Okay, the kind, the level with which it is required. Okay, you should be using a very politically correct words when you are writing this aspect. Okay, what is an attitude? Do not like over criticize, because it's not that everything is wrong. Okay, something is being delivered, but still as I have mentioned, this is a transitional stage. Okay, so people are going to face problem. There is another attitude; they are not comfortable. Also. They want to serve also, they want to do also. But think of the way people were not comfortable. Most of the people in the bureaucracy, 70s, 80s, 90s. Okay, those were already who have completed their service 30 years and 40 years of service. Now they have worked in a very conventional manner with the books and this thing, and suddenly there is a superimposition of this new platform. Now, which is making them very uncomfortable. How to manage all those soft skills are not there. Somewhat discomfortability with there. So even when they want to, but whenever there is a change, okay, how do you see the change? Okay, that's also an important component. So these are the attitudinal issues. Some total of it is like there's a way forward. We have to like pass through the hurdle. There is no way of going back into the era when there was no online. So this is one of the tool of the governance. In fact, all the points will invariably social audit, transparency, accountability, citizen charter, e-governance, whistleblowing. Okay, all are the tools providing for the corruption-free good governance. Some positive start has already been made, but we have to like go through the this transitional pace and overcome these hurdles and problems. Okay, so that's about it with respect to the e-governance. Now, right, the corporate governance and this thing. Corporate governance and CSR. Which chapter is remaining? इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस ओके हाँ इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस भी करना है ये गवर्नेंस खत्म करके फिर इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस करेंगे यस कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस एंड सीएसआर एक बार हो जाएगा तो प्रोबिटी इन गवर्नेंस विल गेट ओवर फिर इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस एंड एथिक्स इन इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस विल बी रिमेनिंग यस कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस CSR that is what is CSR corporate social responsibility. In fact, our topic is like good corporate governance. Why, as a civil servant, we have to study corporate governance? One is you have like जैसे अभी देखा था G2B, government has an interface. So government is a or government or a state is a regulator. Okay, regulator in terms of registration of companies, then procurement, awarding the contract, tender, okay, auction. So there are various things, taxation. This is the one thing, government as a regulator. Apart from that, government has to deal with them also. Like it's not just about the regulation. Here, government is dealing. That is outsourcing of government services. That private player as a public service provider. समझ में आ रही है? Private player as a public service provider. Say for example, e-governance का example ले लो. जो IT solutions हैं, अगर आप वेबसाइट देखोगे तो नीचे कॉर्नर में लिखा होगा. Okay, जो भी private हो, service provider रहेगा. So the private players. So in fact, second reason, in fact, that is a public-private partnership. Public-private partnership. So the role of public-private partnership these days is increasing. Then, yes, public sector PSUs are in fact, they are nothing but the corporate houses. Okay, the whole PSUs work on the corporate basis. PSUs. So we need to know the functioning. This functioning is exactly on the corporate lines. These are companies. Okay, ONGC, IOC, etc., all these PSUs. And then finally, you see here, whatever the corporate, even think of independent sphere of corporate, ultimately it is affecting the citizens. So citizens' interest has to be safeguarded. Say for example, any scam happens, Satyam scam le lo, Sahara scam, okay, or this Vijay Mallya, etc. So this is going to affect the public also, that is, they are the citizens. Apart from that, it affects the economic sentiments also. So it has a bearing on the national growth. Okay, so even when the state has no interference and in independent functioning of corporate since affect the consumers, and consumer is nothing but largely a citizen, so safeguarding the interest of say, citizens, safeguarding the interest of minor shareholders also. Okay, so therefore as a government, as a regulator, public private partnership, PSUs, etc., that's why we are interested in. So any kind of a scam, even if it is not happening in a government, it affects, like say for example, now even the removal of the Cyrus Mystery, okay, it's utterly a corporate issue, but still it is affecting a country to a larger extent because um, uh, leading company, the image of countries, economic sentiments, okay, governance of corporate houses affects the public at large, monopolistic practices, restrictive practices. So these are the aspects. That's why we have to study the corporate governance. Now, within the corporate governance, our objective is to understand the features of good corporate governance. Before seeing the features of good corporate governance, let's see that who are the players in corporate. Okay, इस company में कैसे दिखाया जाता है? First, there are different players in company, so minimum information you need to have. First, the most important one are the shareholders. Okay, who are the different players? Shareholders कौन रहते हैं? The one who are the owners of company. They invest in company and they earn the profit. और जो भी है इक्विटी शेयर एंड दूसरा कौन सा रहता है? हाँ, loan based or the equity. So whether it is a profit or whether it is an interest, whatever the thing is. So these are the shareholders, are the owners of company. Now, shareholders may, there are two types, major shareholders and minor shareholders. Major and minor. टाटा बिरला अदानी अंबानी, ठीक है, और ये मैंगो पीपल, these are the minor shareholders. Retail मतलब जो आप इन्वेस्ट करते हो, you are also a owner of company but नाम के लिए, ठीक है, because we'll see here. Now who runs the company is a board of directors, right? The board of directors, these are the most important ones, board of directors. Now board of directors are the one who runs the company, on behalf of shareholders. So shareholders are the owners, but it's the board of directors who run the company. It means that all strategic decisions of company are taken by board of directors. Now it is expected, like good corporate practices, board of directors impartially should represents the interest of shareholders, board of directors. But generally when shareholders, they dance on the tune of major shareholders only. And many times it affects that board of directors, okay, they are the handpicked people by the major shareholders. So any company's decision generally taken from point of view of the major shareholders' interest, even at the cost of minor shareholders' interest. In fact, he is also a legitimate owner, okay? But since board of directors and this major shareholders has an excess, so it affects the sentiments. Like for example, strategic decisions, मतलब यहाँ पे merger, acquisition, winding of plant, okay, opening of any subsidiary, closing down subsidiary, layoffs, ये बहुत important decision है जो employees को, जो shareholders को, जो public को affect करते हैं. But then board of directors take unilateral. We are talking about the bad governance वाला, okay, corporate में, dark room decision. So we'll discuss what are the, पहले समझ लो बस कि ये board of directors है. Third is the CEO and the management. CEO and the management, they are the one who implement the decisions, okay, taken by the board of directors. Okay, it's like a bureaucracy. This is like a cabinet, and this is like a bureaucracy. CEO and the management who implement the decisions taken by the board of directors, or this management like responsible for the day-to-day administration. जो भी day-to-day administration है, like a bureaucracy, they are the backbones of company. शेयर होल्डर्स कौन रहते हैं? अगर गवर्नमेंट के साथ हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, दिस इज ब्यूरोक्रेसी, दिस इज कैबिनेट, दिस इज पीपल आर पेइंग द टैक्स. So here shareholders are paying the tax. That's why generally they work in the interest of shareholders. Next is obviously the employees. Okay, blue collar employees, working class, as the Karl Marx will put it. Okay, working class, proletariat class. एम्प्लॉयज, वाइट कॉलर एम्प्लॉयज भी रहते हैं, आईटी में ब्लू नहीं रहेगा. एम्प्लॉयज एंड फाइनली द कंज्यूमर्स और yes customers, consumers or customers. Finally, largely the society also. How the society is a part, because indirectly it also get affected. We'll see that how the society is also part. He is someone who is buying the product. Society is something which may get affected by the, say for example, quality of product or baki, natural resources. They provide the natural resources. Alcohol से क्या है? Okay, ठीक है, fine. Yes, society is affected. Very good point. It can be a behavioral also. It can be, say for example, pollution. Coal power plant है. Okay, coal से pollution हो रहा है, society को affect हो रहा है. So likewise, even the crowding is happening, natural resources being utilized. So there can be a variety of the ways. Or in general, as we have started saying, economic sentiments if affecting because of the bad image of the company, so it is going to affect the larger interest of the society also. Okay, that is citizen. Now, in whose interest the corporate should govern? In whose interest should corporate govern? So it's not just the shareholders, the word is stakeholders. Okay, and who is a stakeholder? Anybody who is getting affected by the company directly or indirectly. Okay, stakeholders. So these are all stakeholders. In fact, bad corporate governance is they are working in a shareholders and only the major shareholders, and that's why there are so many problems. So here again, the corporate, when we speak about good corporate governance, we are not saying that corporates are wrong. Okay, we have understood the philosophy that corporates are different from the government and they can earn the profit, but the larger interest has to be taken into account. Now with this idea, we will write down some of the features of good corporate governance. So write the features of good corporate governance. Features of good corporate governance. Now, in fact, the first feature of good corporate governance is that they should work in this interest, right? That corporate should govern in the interest of all stakeholders. Corporate should govern in the interest of all stakeholders and not just shareholders. I hope you understood that what is all stakeholders. Okay, everybody's interest. Because if winding of plant is there, like employees where they will go. So Satyam debacle has happened. So in fact, while taking the decision, you have never considered what will happen to the employees, what will happen to the country, etc., etc. So that is how that all the stakeholders' interests is a first thing. Second thing, when board of directors takes the strategic decision, when board of directors takes the decision, when board of directors takes when board of directors take different decisions for the company, different decisions for the company, the interest of minor shareholders should be protected and promoted. Interest of minor shareholders should be protected and promoted alongside of interest of yes, major shareholders. Okay, board of directors should not just be a puppet in the hands of major shareholders. They have the responsibility of protecting and promoting the interest of minor shareholders. Now, right, in this continuation only, right, to this end or towards this objective, board of directors should consist of proportionate number of माइनर शेयर होल्डर्स ने इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स, हाँ उनको रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स. In fact, this independent directors do not have any direct or indirect stake in the company. Independent directors, अगर लिखना है तो लिख सकते हो, right? Independent directors are one. इसी में लिखना है. Independent directors are one who do not have any direct or indirect interest in the company. So there will not be a conflict of interest, and they are there to promote or protect the minor shareholders' interest also. अगर आपके स्टेक है और आप बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर हो तो ऑब्वियसली यू विल थिंक फ्रॉम द मोर प्रॉफिट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एंड नॉट फ्रॉम द माइनर शेयर होल्डर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. सो इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स, even if sometimes the decision is not financially in favor of company, but still a minor shareholder is trying to independent director will try to safeguard. It's something like जो हम बोल रहे हैं कि weaker section of society, समझ में आ रहा है? This is a minor shareholder, so everybody should also think of weaker section. So this is like also you have to incorporate the issues of minor shareholders. Next you can write like some points will be common like transparency, accountability, code of conduct. So right, थोड़ा सा उसको इस context में लिखना है. There should be transparency. Next point, there should be transparency in decision making of board of directors. There should be transparency in decision making of board of directors. कई बार ये टर्म यूज होती है green room decisions, dark room decisions. Okay, these are the terms where board of directors are not consulting the shareholders, all the stakeholders, and taking the decision in an opaque manner. और बहुत बार ऐसे बड़े बड़े डिसीजन लिए जाते हैं और शेयर होल्डर्स को, जो खुद ओनर है, माइनर शेयर होल्डर्स को, उसको पता नहीं रहता है कि कंपनी क्या कर रही है. रात में वो सो जाता है, सब कुछ अच्छा है, सुबह देखता है तो मार्केट इज कोलैप्स, मर्जर हैज हैपेंड, एक्विजिशन हैज हैपेंड, ये वो. ओके, फिर रात में और लीवर खराब, ठीक है, ऐसे हो जाता है उसका. सो more and more transparency should be there so that he is also an important stakeholder and he also can take a strategic decision. अगर आप 4 दिन पहले 2 दिन पहले बता दे रहे हो कि this is going to be a merger, acquisition, or for that matter any big decision, so it is he is a legitimate owner of it. He wants to take away the shares and maybe transfer whatever the thing is. Okay, so transparency, the point is highlighted point here is the transparency to the decision making. Next, board of directors should be held accountable. Board of directors should be held accountable for their decisions. Okay, answerable. Now all omissions, commissions, whatever right happening, wrong happening, etc. Next is there should be strong and robust. There should be strong and robust audit mechanism within the company. Okay. Audit mechanism should include both internal as well as external audit mechanism. It should be both internal and external. Internal and external audit mechanism. In fact, internal audit is no audit. Okay, it's just फर्जी type वाला audit रहता है, 4-5 CA बैठा के वो companies के ही clear रहते हैं. Something like what we were discussing, the accountability institutions in India are nothing but appendages of the self government. So ये internal audit वही काम रहता है. Okay, just the formal things. Nowadays, there is a more thrust upon the external audit mechanism. In fact, Companies Act 2013 has come up very heavily with respect to the external auditing. Now, there is a larger role for the external auditors. अगर external auditors को कुछ forgery लग रही है, कुछ misappropriation लग रहा है, so there is a responsibility on them, external auditors, to inform to the government about it, alert the government about it, that something is not good. Okay, within the corporate houses. Otherwise, they will also be held responsible if any corruption is happening in a corporate. The external auditors also will be held responsible for this. Is particularly in case of Satyam scam. This has happened that the PwC. Yes, PwC was involved in the external audit, and the whole thing that is happened with the connivance of the auditors. Okay, later on it. Everything came into picture. So if the auditor, external auditors, and there is a responsibility on them in order to have a more good governance. So Companies Act में कुछ technical provision हमारे लिए important नहीं है. For us, the principles are important. So how and what are the different things of external auditors? Next, you can write the company should have strict code of conducts and code of ethics. Company should have strict code of conducts and code of ethics to ensure good behavior of employees. Good and professional लिखो. To ensure good and professional behavior of employees. गुड लिख के फिर हमने प्रोफेशनल क्यों लिखा है, या फिर क्या क्या आ सकता है इसमें? What we are trying to say. Although professional will also means good and good will also means professional, but still. Pardon? हाँ. हाँ. Balanced manner. So good में है, profession में है. Whether it is, I am saying that I have used the two words, good and professional. एक use करोगे तब भी वही message है, but still दो use किए. Professional means you should be impartial, transparent, accountable, बाकी सब जो चीज़ है. Good is this we have said that comments on vilified comments against the women. Okay, so like we have seen some of the case studies. याद आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? Okay, making any remarks. Okay, and then sexual harassment case. Okay, so that good behavior apart from your professional behavior. Professionally also you need to be good. Otherwise, as a congenial atmosphere, ethical behavior, dignified behavior. Okay, professional भी ethically है, उसमें भी ethics है, इसमें भी है, but both the things. Okay, code of conduct. In fact, you can extend like strict code of conduct implementation होना चाहिए, and code of ethics के लिए क्या होना चाहिए? There should be regular reorientation of employees with respect to code of ethics. समझ रहा है? There should be strict implementation. इसको extend मतलब और किया जा सकता है. The code of conduct should be strict and there should be strict implementation of code of conduct. Code of ethics को strict implementation नहीं बोलेंगे. जब code of ethics लिखोगे तो क्या बोलते हैं? You should inculcate them. That is reorient the employees. अरे ऐसे देख रहे हो जैसे ये words नहीं पता है. What is code of conduct and code of ethics? Code of ethics is a broader. When you ज्वाइन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, 2-4 दिन आपका जो इंडक्शन ट्रेनिंग पीरियड रहता है, दिस इज टू कोड ऑफ इथिक्स टू बी एम्बाइब्ड कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के क्या कोड ऑफ इथिक्स है. ओके, सो देयर शुड बी, और ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि केवल एक वन टाइम. ओके, देयर शुड बी फ्रीक्वेंट training and reorientation with respect to different values. That is a code of ethics. Code of conducts are restriction sort of thing. So if you have not followed rules, you should be punished for the same. Okay, show cause notice milni chahiye, या फिर if the behavior is repetitive, then there has to be certain punishment, etc., etc. Okay. So, code of ethics and code of conduct. Next is company should have a strong whistleblowing policy. Company should have a strong whistleblowing policy. Whistleblowing policy to expose. Company should have strong whistleblowing policy which help in or to expose wrongdoings and corruption happening in an organization. To expose corruption or wrongdoing happening within an organization on one side or on one hand, and to give the yes, what, protection to the whistleblower on the other, and to give the protection to the whistleblower on the other. Protection to the whistleblower on the other. It means that you should have a certain internal cell कि आप designate कर दो कि this cell is a internal vigilant cell. So any employee who has a problem can come to this cell and complain. And second is, since he will complain, he will not be put to the disadvantage. Okay, otherwise complain दे दो और फिर आपको निकाल दिया जाएगा. ठीक है. In fact, there is a very famous during the Chinese Revolution, माओ ने एक कैंपेन चलाया था कल्चरल रिवोल्यूशन के टाइम में, लेट द 100 फ्लावर ब्लूम. ओके, पता है किसी को? लेट द 100 फ्लावर ब्लूम. उसने बोला कि आई एम अ वेरी डेमोक्रेटिक पर्सन, ओके, एंड प्लीज क्रिटिसाइज मी सो दैट आई कैन इम्प्रूव. Okay, whatever you have an opinion against my style of functioning, etc., you come up with criticism so that it will contribute the good functioning and improvement. People आ गए बाहर, एक एक को पकड़ पकड़ के हेवन में ही भेज दिया गया. Okay, one of the most bloody and violent revolution. Okay, that was a strategy used. Let the 100 flowers bloom. उन्होंने बहुत प्रमोट किया, बोलो 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 और बोलो. ठीक है, और फिर हाँ पकड़ पकड़ के फिर खत्म ही कर दिया. सो जो भी छिपे हुए थे, थोड़े बहुत डर रहे थे, वो तो एकदम ही आ गए. तो इट वाज वेरी इजी फॉर हिम टू आइडेंटिफाई हु आर द एनिमीज. ओके, कि ये फ्यूचर में मुझे ट्रबल कर सकते हैं. तो ऐसा विसल ब्लोइंग भी हो सकता है. ओके, कंपनीज इंटरनल विसल ब्लो करो करो करो, करने के बाद जाओ आप. ठीक है. सो दैट्स व्हाई द complementarily the whistleblowing protection is also important. Yes, next point, the company should have CSR policy and should carry out CSR activities regularly. CSR activities regularly. CSR, corporate social responsibility. In fact, that takes us to the next topic, that is CSR. In fact, these are the all points of good corporate. So यहाँ पे ये नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि do not earn the profit. Okay, it is not anti-corporate. It is making the corporate to function more ethical manner. That's the only thing. Understood? Okay, so write the next, that is a CSR. In fact, CSR is a part of good corporate governance. CSR, there is a corporate social responsibility. This company should have a citizen charter also लिख सकते हो last point और एक अगर लिखना है तो citizen chart वही points है organization कोई भी function करेगा तो some points will be common transparency accountability citizen charter code of conduct code of ethics whistleblowing audit yes next is that is CSR is corporate social responsibility. This first like meaning of CSR. Yes, what do you understand? CSR क्या होता है? हाँ, social welfare. Okay, that's more about definition. Yes, that's correct also. But we have to understand more than that. What you have said is Companies Act 2013 these days has made compulsory that 2% of the profit earned by a few of the companies. Okay, there are certain criterias. We'll see those criterias also. That 2% should go for the welfare of society. This is a something which is being imposed now because our corporates are not following the CSR practices. Yes. So the here understanding is rather than because the law is saying the corporate should incorporate this philosophy of the CSR by their own self for variety of the reason. Okay, not because just there is an imposition, but there are certain reasons and rationale why corporate should work in the interest of public. Okay, at the same time. So right, first meaning companies or corporates while working from point of view of profit or revenue generation while working for profit or revenue generation should also take into account social and environmental aspects that is company while earning the profit that is companies while earning the profit should also consider spending portion of profit should also consider spending portion of profit for the social and environmental activities Okay. Now, write the basis of or reasons for CSR. Basis, reasons or rationale of CSR. Basis, oblique reasons, rationale. Now here, see the thing is, you have to identify a very, see this, let's first compare here the government or the state. Now, this government organization should work in the interest of public, that is, can be well understood. Because public pay the tax, therefore they should work in the interest of welfare of public. Now, if you see the private organization or the companies, who give the money, who invest? Yes, shareholders. So it is but natural that profit is given to shareholders. ये logic समझ में आ रहा है? They will pay the taxes, therefore government have to work in the interest of public. Shareholder invest, so therefore company will work in the interest of profit of shareholders. Logic, basic. And that's the difference in between public organization and government organization. Now in CSR, what we are trying to say, they should work in the interest. Okay. Now what is the logic? That is what we are trying to discuss. Okay, what is the basis of CSR? Now, what are the grounds or what you can think that how we can force them? What is the basis? Consumers, yes, और बताइए मतलब consumers है. So consumers, so obviously they are the profit orientation. So they will keep in whatever the price. As for the see, why they should work in the even the consumers is not just about the CSR, but even the consumers, they will put any kind of price. If you want to take, otherwise do not take. हाँ, they have been allowed to operate. और थोड़ा सा आगे. Why should company, okay, forget about this diagram. Why should company work in the social interest? Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. Or goodwill. That is an in fact why the CSR they are doing. In fact, that is a utilitarian view. Okay, that is not a basis. In fact, why they are thinking, okay, let us do it, because ultimately that will also contribute for our company's goodwill and profit. Okay, in the CSR, they are also thinking of more and more profit because that will generate. In fact, that's a positive consequence of CSR. But why at the first instance they should do? Huh? Support from state? Huh? Yes. Huh? Hmm. Increases the profit. तो वही आ जा रहा है. That are the implications, that are the consequence. इमेज कंपनी की अच्छी हो जाना, गुडविल अच्छा हो जाना, तो वो अपने आप से करे ना. Why we should be thinking about it? Yes. हाँ. So that socialism is not for the corporate philosophy. Is when you have gone for the mixed model. See, the thing is, the corporate will pay the tax and the state will redistribute the tax. So the taxation is there. Are you understanding? You are correct. Okay, principle of socialism that there should be equitable distribution, but that is why the state exists. There is a equalizer, okay, and that's why we apply the tax, and the tax is being collected and distributed. Okay, right? Some of the basis. This answer lies, but थोड़ा सा और उसको करना है. दो तीन चीजें you should see. First of all, corporate uses the resources from the society, such as human resource and natural resource, while earning the profit, natural resource. So there is a payback principle. Payback principle is give something back to the society for what you have taken from the society. Okay, one basis for CSR is since the corporate utilizes human resource and natural resource. Okay, ये समझाने के लिए बताया हूँ आपको, मतलब लिखना चाहिए इसको कि corporate since they take the help from the society or it takes the benefits out of the society in the form of human resource and natural resource. So therefore, there is an obligation on them because they are taking the benefits from the society. There is obligation from them to work in the interest of society. Second is, in fact, second is also a payback principle, but See here, when the corporates are functioning or companies functioning, there is something you must have studied in economics. There is something called negative externalities. What is negative externalities? The negative impact in the form of maybe pollution, etc. Any harm because of functioning of your corporate. When the companies are there, okay, obviously some of the negative fallouts will also be there. Negative externalities, you never heard of this term? Why there is a maximum tax on smoking and cigars and also on the liquor? Hmm? Yes, there are negative implications. In order to compensate for that, there is a heavy taxation on all this. Okay. Companies when operate, okay, they cause damage to the society or environment in simple way. अगर नहीं समझ रहा है negative externalities, forget about it. Does not matter. When the companies operate, operation of companies may have certain negative implications, such as pollution, okay, direct implication, or any other kind of negative externalities. पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नैलिटीज भी वर्ड होता है, इट हैज अ पॉजिटिव, बट यहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं तो यहाँ पे जैसे है कि polluter pay principle, polluter pay principle, or whoever is committing, so therefore they should pay for this. All of you are following me? They take something, so that they should pay back. They cause harm, therefore they should pay back. Okay, they take benefits, therefore there is an obligation on them to work. They harm, therefore there is obligation to make course correction. Third, in fact, right, the companies, in fact, this is the most important point, that companies should operate or govern, companies should operate or govern on the triple bottom line principle. Triple bottom line principle. Triple bottom line principle. Triple bottom line principle. Anybody has studied management? पता है? What is a triple bottom line? किसी ने मैनेजमेंट ही नहीं किया रखा है. जिस दिन जो क्वेश्चन पूछता है उस दिन उसका उस फील्ड से कोई नहीं होता. Okay, triple bottom line principle, right? There are three P's. There are three P's. First is profit. Okay, जो उनको बताने की जरूरत नहीं रहती है. ठीक है. Second is people. That is, they should work in the social interest. And third is the planet. Planet, that is environment. Okay. So in fact, this profit is the economic component or the profit component. People is this equity component, that is a social welfare, and planet is environmental component or ecological component. So it is not about first you earn and then work and remove. In fact, that's also not a very good CSR. While operating, you should remember the three things, that the principle of your governance and profit should not be based only upon economic. Again, we are not saying that you should not earn. You should earn, but at the same time, the social and the environmental consideration should also be there while operation. Okay, so if you are causing any negative impact for the society and the environment, or if you are taking anything from them, then you should also pay them back. And you should, in fact, if you see this three principles मैंने use किए थे, 3 E's, ecology, economy and equity. किस में use किए थे? क्या याद रहता है आपको? Ecology, economy and equity. हाँ? सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट में नहीं यूज किए थे? नहीं यूज किए थे बोल रहे. सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट क्या था? किया था या नहीं किया था? सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट में कहां पे था सस्टेनेबल? एनवायरमेंटल इथिक्स किया है. एनवायरमेंटल इथिक्स में वहां पे ग्रोथ लिखा था, फिर डेवलपमेंट लिखा था, फिर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट लिखा था. ग्रोथ में लिखा था कि इकोनॉमी इज इंपॉर्टेंट, डेवलपमेंट में लिखा था इकोनॉमी प्लस सोशल इश्यूज, दैट इज पीपल, एंड फिर लिखा था कि इकोनॉमी सोशल प्लस इकोलॉजी. पढ़ने के बाद भी याद नहीं आता है, और इतना असर्टिवली नहीं 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 किया था. So it means that company should develop. Again, it is not agenda against the corporate. Okay, we want that company should develop in a more sustainable manner. देखो है या नहीं है? हम्म. नहीं, ऐसे तो आपको विश्वास नहीं आ रहा होगा. देखो अगर नोटबुक में. The whole point is corporate should, there should not be a lopsided development. There should not be a lopsided development. There should be a principle of triple bottom line. In fact, उसके बाद पहले तो बताया था concepts में. उसके बाद हमने एक क्वेश्चन भी लिया था, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टूल. उसमें भी CSR लिखवाया था. CSR इज द पॉलिसी थ्रू विच यू कैन ब्रिंग द आइडिया ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. सो यहाँ पे जो आइडिया है दैट एनी काइंड ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, वेदर इट इज अ कॉर्पोरेट डेवलपमेंट और द स्टेट लेड डेवलपमेंट, देयर शुड बी अ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. This will be, in fact, be in the long run interest of the company only, because if you are operating in particular area, so if you keep the environment and the resources in a sustainable manner, so you can work over a century. Okay. Otherwise, in 15-20 years, you may start facing the problem when the resources in and around will get exhausted, or if there is a pollution to an extent that it will be next to impossible for the company to operate in that particular area. Okay, so while working, you should keep these three principles, that is called as triple bottom line principles. In fact, in definition, we have taken this definition, which we understand that some percentage of profit should go. It should not be only the percentage of profit. While earning the profit, you should have these principles, okay, at the first instance. Now, right, have you understood all of you? What is the basis for CSR? Yes. Yes, but that is a direction for the state. That's why state will go for tax collection. 39B, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, what he is saying is 39B and C, in fact, they are having an upper hand over the fundamental rights. Okay, this you must have seen Minerva Mill case and Keshwananda Bharati case, okay, and various cases. तो उसमें बताया गया है कि डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी, that is 39B and C, will have an upper hand over the fundamental rights, particularly 14, okay, and 19. So in that case, they are the direction for the state. It does mean that the state can acquire the private land also, okay. And there you cannot say that I have a right of property or any kind of right. You have to accept whatever the compensation is given, provided that state is acquiring such land for the larger benefits, so that there should be not concentration of property. That's why these land ceiling laws and etc. are there. So that is direction. So yes, that philosophy we have to apply in corporate. But 39 is not specifically giving direction to the corporate. See, we also see too much of direction will also take us to the era. There are negative implications of external intervention. Then you will lose the charm of having a corporate. Then it is more of a जो लाइसेंट राज था 1947 onwards to 1990, ये जो लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन के पहले, okay, so it becomes everything is guided by the state, and it has its own negative implications if the state is controlling every single thing. We want that the corporate themselves should incorporate in their hands without the external intervention. जब external intervention आएगा तो उसमें corporate political nexus उसके अपने implications है. फिर there is a no autonomy of functioning, कंपटीशन उतना नहीं होगा. लेसेस फेरे में आपको इकोनॉमिक्स भी देखना है, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि इकोनॉमिक्स इतना नहीं देखना है कि दैट यू आर वर्किंग इन अ मैनर दैट इज क्रिएटिंग yes, more harms rather than the benefits, or maybe benefits for a section of people, board of directors and the major shareholders, and rest of the stakeholders are getting affected. Understood? So right now, next is modalities of CSR. What are the different modalities or different models of CSR? कैसे कैसे CSR किया जा सकता है? Different modalities or different ways of doing CSR. Modalities, models, different ways of doing the CSR. So there are 4 ways of doing it, different ways. Company or corporate will simply give a fund or aid. फंड और एड से फॉर एग्जांपल अब जैसे कंपनी एक्ट में 2% लिखा है सो 2% ऑफ प्रॉफिट वो निकाल के दे विल गिव एज अ फंड और एड टू सम एनजीओ विच इज ऑलरेडी वर्किंग. दिस इज सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ सीएसआर, सिंपलेस्ट वे ऑफ डूइंग सीएसआर कि आपकी कंपनी के ऊपर इम्पोज किया है कि सीएसआर करना है तो आप ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं ले रहे हो. जो कंपनी ऑलरेडी एनजीओस चला रहे हैं तो उनको 2% आप डोनेट कर रहे हो एनुअली as your profit. Understood? So this is the simplest way. NGO is already working so donation or fund or aid, and that is the CSR activity. Second is slightly different है. इसमें भी NGO का role है, लेकिन here you are hiring a NGO because NGO is a expertise. You don't have a expert human resource for the social welfare, so you are making a contract with NGO. Here the NGO is not primary. So the whole design of CSR and everything will be done by the company. You are using NGO as a tool in order to further the CSR. ठीक है, कौन से फील्ड में वर्क करना है, कितने दिन तक वर्क करना है, कितने पैसे स्पेंड करने हैं, कैसे कैसे करना है, everything is done by the company. Understood the difference between the two? In the second, everything is NGO, you are just spending money. Here NGO is a means और बाकी सब कुछ is done by the company. Third thing is company itself is doing CSR activities. Company itself is doing CSR activities as the secondary activity of company or as its secondary activity. Company itself is doing CSR activity as its secondary activity. Secondary मतलब क्या है? Primary क्या रहेगी? Yes, जो भी profit नहीं, जहाँ मतलब profit जो भी कंपनी अपना काम कर रही है, जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री है तो सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री चलाएगी, जैसे आईटी कंपनी है, आईटी कंपनी विल रन ऑन वीकेंड्स, दे विल गो टू द स्लम एरिया and will distribute the stationaries to the weaker section, or maybe they will teach their digital literacy. So आपका जो है plant आपका primary काम कर रहे हो, plus company itself is doing the CSR activities, so there will be a dedication cell and you will be functioning as a secondary activity. Okay, यहाँ पे NGO नहीं है, यहाँ आप ही promote कर रहे हो, आपके ही सेल वाले कर रहे हो. And the fourth one is company is incorporating principles of CSR, principles and philosophy. Okay, एक ही है, principles of or philosophy of CSR. Company is incorporating principles and philosophy of CSR in company's primary activity. In company's primary activity. In company's primary activity. So let's understand what is the primary activity. See, for example, यहाँ पे और एक example लेता हूँ, same example which can be related to both of them. CSR activity and secondary activity. Say for example, आपका एक coal steel plant है in Mumbai. Okay, any kind of industry, you are causing here pollution, carbon emission हो रहा है. Somewhere in Arunachal Pradesh, you are going and quarrying afforestation drive. Afforestation. Okay, पहले आप primary activity है and afforestation is your secondary activity. Understood this point? Primary and secondary in this case. Incorporating the principle of CSR in company's primary policy means, okay, here when you are operating, okay, say for example, X machine is causing 1000 units of carbon emission. So you are, rather than X unit, you are bringing new machine Y, which causes 10 units of pollution. So you are incorporating the green technology. So rather than first causing the pollution and then giving the compensation in the form of CSR, you have incorporated the CSR principle that you have understood. Ultimately, when I work, I should work in a more sustainable manner, taking into account the principles of environment and the society. इन दोनों में फर्क समझ में आया नहीं है? Okay, primary activity and this is primary. This is the highest form of CSR. Okay, यहाँ पे क्या है कि आप पहले CSR has become a license to continue to operate in a negative manner so that you can later on make an compensation for it. Again, these are some of the negative implications of CSR also. Negative implication मतलब जो हमारे rules है Companies Act के उतने strong नहीं है. This can be one situation, but we want this situation. Okay, when we talk about the CSR, let's take another example. जैसे आप यहाँ पे एनवायरनमेंट के लिए आप काम करते हैं, सोसाइटी के लिए आपके लिए काम करना है. से आपका कोई एक इंडस्ट्री है, अब इंडस्ट्री रहेगा तो उसमें रॉ मटेरियल लगेगा. सो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज in and around in the vicinity, if self-help group, micro, small, medium entrepreneurs, so you are identifying local entrepreneurs, self-help groups, and you are taking the raw material. In spite of the fact you can take it from elsewhere, but you are taking so that the goodwill will be generated and the social cause also will be addressed when the company is operating in a particular place. Otherwise क्या है कि आप इंपोर्ट कर लो किसी से एक्सपेंसिव से और फिर बाद में सब्सिडी दे दो या फिर लोगों के लिए कुछ काम करो. Are you understanding? This comes in secondary activity, but this becomes a primary. You are doing the principles of CSR in the primary activity. So all are CSR, NGOs, etc., etc. There is nothing like the others are not. Okay, so there are various modes of doing the CSR depending upon the company's capacity, company's preference. Okay, there can be different ways of doing the CSR. Understood? So that is how you have to just broadly remember, and you can take like general examples of CSR. आप कहीं से भी मतलब एक बार गूगल कर दो विच कंपनीज आर डूइंग गुड CSR, 3-4 आपको स्पेसिफिक नाम और उनके एग्जांपल्स पता होने चाहिए. ठीक है? हाँ, that's also CSR. नहीं, see the thing is, 2-3 things you should remember. Yes, what she has said about is if जैसे है स्कूल मेट्स के बुक्स रहेंगे, स्कूल मेट्स के बुक के ऊपर लिखा रहता है कि यू परचेस इट नॉट ओनली रुपी. आई एम कमिंग टू डिफरेंट पॉइंट कि इस पेपर्स को बनाते समय एनवायरनमेंट को कम से कम हार्म हुआ है. ओके, ऑल्दो द कॉस्ट इज 5 rupees more, but then we have caused less damage. So by purchasing this, you are contributing for the green India, etc., etc. Okay, so yes, certainly that's a point of CSR where company has incorporated ये last वाला समझ में आया, this thing that is incorporating the principles of CSR in company's primary activity. Also in many of the cases where you see the Kinley वगैरह ये जो yes the mineral water है, तो उसमें भी लिखा रहता है for 1.5 liters of generation of water, we are giving back to the environment some 8 liters of water. So they have incorporated such principles in water purification of mineralization, so that water will not go west, water will go back to the environment. So that is also like you have kept that this mineralization of water environmental friendly by incorporating the principles of like protecting the environment into the company's primary policy. But when it is being said that is a donation, okay, donation is this is a way of collecting. This is generally generating the goodwill. So long as the company is also giving, like some company will say that you contribute this much, we will also give from our pocket the equal contribution. So that is an sort of an CSR. But then rest of the thing is become a matter of a charity only. Okay, so there is a difference in between charity and philanthropy and the CSR. Charity is out of your moral. Okay, you are going an extra. जैसे बोलते हैं sympathy के हिसाब से आप जा रहे हो. But in case of CSR, it's an obligation. Okay, because if you are operating, there is certain responsibility on you also. There is obligation, there is a responsibility. Charity में क्या है, out of goodwill you are again doing something more. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है डिफरेंस? ओके, सो समवेयर प्रोएक्टिव मेजर्स यू आर ऑब्लाइज्ड टू वर्क इन अ spirit of profit, people, and planet. You should take into account all these factors. Otherwise, you are doing a lopsided development. Also, do not get confused with social entrepreneurship and CSR. Many a times it happens. Social entrepreneurship में क्या है कि आप वर्क कर रहे हो एजुकेशन सेक्टर में, हेल्थ सेक्टर में, डाउन ट्रोडन एक्सेट्रा सैनिटेशन के लिए आप सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हो, लेकिन आप पैसे ही अर्न कर रहे हो. सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज इन सोशल एरियाज, योर बिजनेस वेंचर इज देयर. ओके, सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज नॉट सीएसआर. ठीक है, वो भी पैसे ही कमा रहे हैं. ऐसा है कि टिस में एडमिशन ले लिया और टिस से पास आउट हो गए और फिर सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बन रहे, सोसाइटी के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. नहीं, आप बहुत पैसे कमाते हैं वैसे. ठीक है, सो सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज इन सोशल एरियाज, द बिजनेस मॉडल्स एंड दिस थिंग. वहां पे भी आप अगर in consonance with आप कर रहे हो तो obviously that will be counted as a CSR activity. Mere your business operation in social sector does not mean CSR. ठीक है, अदरवाइज एजुकेशनल प्लेयर्स बहुत सारे हैं. ओके, हाँ, दल्ले, एजुकेशन के दल्ले बोल दो और क्या है. ओके, एक महाराष्ट्र में तो काफी है ऐसे एजुकेशनल. पतंगराव कदम पता है? पतंगराव कदम का कौन सा यूनिवर्सिटी है? भारतीय यूनिवर्सिटी पता है? भारतीय विद्यापीठ, हाँ. बहुत क्वालिटी एजुकेशन है, ऑक्सफोर्ड कैम्ब्रिज की तरह क्वालिटी एजुकेशन है. ठीक है, सो just because you are operating, okay, that does not mean that is a CSR. So you have to incorporate that principle. Again, 2% profit is not only CSR. You may not be giving the profit, but while यहाँ पे जो fourth में है आप कर रहे हो, ठीक है. In fact, this Indian Habitat Center है, although it is a state, like वहाँ पे जो infrastructure आप देखोगे, while constructing the infrastructure, you have taken that infrastructure should be less harming to the environment. It should be environmental friendly. Have you gone to the Indian Habitat Center? Okay. एकदम मतलब ऐसे लगता है कि हाँ कुछ बनाया है आर्किटेक्ट. Okay, in a sense that, in fact, for that matter, this ITC चेन ऑफ होटल्स, आईटीसी मौर्या, कौन सा है यहाँ पे? हाँ, हाँ, मौर्या शेल्टन नहीं, आईटीसी वाले जो भी होटल्स है. ओके, सो दोज होटल्स आर called the green hotels. Okay, they have enjoyed the tag of green hotels, that while constructing their infrastructure, okay, they have used this policy, that is environmental friendly architecture. So that is where that's also been considered as an CSR. ब्रेक जल्दी लेंगे हम आज, क्योंकि टॉपिक जैसे का. सी द थिंग इज, लेट मी टॉक सर्टन नेगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशंस एंड पहले ये लिख लो, कंपनीज एक्ट 2013. कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 पता होना चाहिए. दिस इज ऑल्दो नॉट पार्ट ऑफ एथिक्स क्लास, आपका इकोनॉमिक्स या फिर पॉलिटी गवर्नेंस वाला है. कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 में कंपलसरी किया है. ओके, बिकॉज समथिंग लाइक कोड ऑफ इथिक्स अगर आप में नहीं है तो देयर विल बी एन कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट और लॉ. ओके, लॉ, थ्रू लॉ the good behavior is being maintained. Okay, so the Companies Act 2013 says like 2% of profit earned by the company, 2% of profit earned by the company should go to the CSR activities, should go to the CSR activities if company falls under following criteria. If company fall under following criteria. Company fall under following criteria. Yes, what is the criteria? How much is the turnover? How much is the asset of company? And how much is the profit? इस इकोनॉमिक्स में नहीं हुआ है क्या आपका CSR? स्टार्ट हुआ है, ओके ठीक है, बताइए। टर्नओवर कितना होना चाहिए? कोई प्रॉफिट भी नहीं पता है? 5 करोड़, yes, profit is 5 CR. Then asset, this is 1000 CR and this is 500 crore. Turnover is 1000 crore, asset is 500 crore and profit is 5 crore. यहाँ पे जो है और okay, if your company is falling in either of the 3 criterias, आपका टर्नओवर ज्यादा है, प्रॉफिट भी नहीं कमा रहे हो, तब भी कंपनी इज गुड इनफ दैट दे शुड डू द CSR। कंपनी छोटी है, स्टार्टअप है, ले 5 करोड़ कमा रहे हो, ओके, टर्नओवर उतना नहीं है, फिर भी यू हैव टू डू द CSR। बाकी के इसमें ये जो है माइक्रो स्मॉल मीडियम MSME जो है उनको नहीं है 5 करोड़, कोई फायदा नहीं है। एक तो गवर्नमेंट ही सब्सिडी देगा और फिर बोलेगा CSR, मतलब हम ही देंगे आपको, उसी का CSR कर दो, no point, okay, so that will be a sort of thing. This is a legal obligation, okay, legal obligation, but still, in fact, the board of directors are, Companies Act clearly states that board of directors will be held responsible for the CSR activities. There are many more provisions, like board of directors or company should give the annual report, okay, to the corporate affairs ministry, talking about the CSR. Now some of the favorite areas, environment है, फिर education है, health है, awareness campaigns, okay, these are the areas. In fact, there has been a report now, 2 years of functioning of the CSR, okay, many of the negative things also have come out, etc. Companies do it for the goodwill. Obviously, there's help in generating. It's not a force, like, do not think from point of view of that. Companies is also getting benefited because ultimately it will generate the goodwill among the public, okay, and goodwill among the public, when generated, it will contribute for the increasing the profit of the company in the long run, because then you have a positive attitude towards the company, and that is how it contribute the company in the long run. There's something called enlightened self-interest. Okay, we are doing for the others, but for the others, in the long run, it is going to benefit you only. Okay, so it is, a CSR is also, they are thinking from point of view of the investment model only. Okay, so invest so that in the long run, it is going to get benefit. There are certain negative implications ये हुए हैं कि इंडिया में जो इसके CSR के अभी के जो रूल है वो थोड़े से लिबरल रूल्स हैं। ओके, यू कैन डू द CSR in whichever manner possible, 2% should be given. जो 4 modalities इसीलिए मैंने बताए थे कि there is a lot of flexibility. Now what is happening is, although this is a very deeper analysis of the CSR जो है लोगों के भलाई के लिए, good aspects के लिए बनाया जा रहा था। Now what is happening, the corporate is also developing now the nexus with the NGOs, and the this black money is getting, and again white money through the route of CSR. Also the political, there is a politicization of the CSR activities also. Let's just, I will throw some light on 2 different scenarios. Okay, one scenario is this. Let's take an example of this Reliance. Okay, Reliance was, there was a issue with regard to this जो KG basin, पता है, कृष्णा गोदावरी basin में, they were not drilling the oil, okay, in the manner they should have been drilled. Okay, there was a lot of issue last year that yes, they have like ample of thousands, some lakhs of crores of public exchequer money has remained unproductive because they were hiding that we were there was a scarcity, etc. So on whatever the statutory obligations were there on them to drill the oil, they were not following those things, leading into the loss to the thousands of crores to the public exchequer. Now, there was a time when the NGOs were operating there and writing about this, that this is how the situation is happening on the ground. Okay, and the company is like doing this corporate practices, okay, and which is not in the larger interest of the country, and public exchequer money is getting lost. Now think of through the CSR what is happening. These NGOs, now you are आप जो भी NGOs ऐसे हैं, तो 2% ऑफ प्रॉफिट जो आपको देना है तो उन्हीं एनजीओज को दे दो। ओके, मेक देम डिपेंडेंट ऑन यू। कितनी औकात है एनजीओज की रिलायंस के आगे? कुछ नहीं है। रिलायंस बोल रहा है कि चलो एक स्कूल खोल दो, हॉस्पिटल खोल दो, और क्या है वो बताओ आप, उसके 10 टाइम्स ले लो आपके। अब एनजीओज फंक्शनिंग इज एक्चुअली डायरेक्टली डिपेंड्स अपॉन द फंडिंग। द मोर फंड you get, obviously you can function. So what is happening? This is called the term which is there in sociology or in general, LO YELLOW यूज होती है। येलो एंजोनाइजेशन और येलो कॉर्पोरेट। येलो मीन्स वेर एवर देर इज, येलो जर्नलिज्म भी है। येलो मतलब corporatization of NGOs. So what is happening is now, can you think of that NGO is going to write or raise the voice against the now Reliance, who is getting a crores of funding from these corporates. So what is happening is, through the mask of CSR, the unethical practices of companies are getting hidden. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? डीपर एनालिसिस है, आपको बस अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए बता रहा हूँ। अभी सीएसआर को बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिटिसाइज नहीं करना है, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे सीएसआर इज फोर्सिंग द कॉर्पोरेट्स टू वर्क इन द पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट। बट इंडिया में क्या है, जुगाड़ ही जुगाड़। ओके, so they are finding the ways out and using the CSR as a tool or a mask, okay, to hide the exploitation which was happening. In fact, second mode, एक third mode बताया था मैंने, CSR carrying out CSR activities as a secondary activities. Something example I have given: you pollute somewhere and you make a compensation elsewhere. Like say for example, you are operating in Mumbai and you go in Arunachal Pradesh and carry out forestation campaign. नाउ देर आर टू पहले तो वहाँ पे अरुणाचल इसलिए मैंने बोला था कि वहाँ ऑलरेडी 1000 प्लांट्स वही रहते हैं। आपने और दो चार लगा दिए, बोल दिया, उसमें भी कोई जाके नहीं देख रहा है। ठीक है, उसमें भी बहुत सारा निगेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स उभर के आ जाते हैं कि इतने प्लांट्स तो इन्होंने लगाए नहीं थे। ठीक है, that is a separate thing, but the point is, now there are certain problems with respect to the corporate governance which we required an remedy, okay, in terms of they are exploiting the environment. Now पहले क्या था कि CSR नहीं था तो उसके ऊपर जो assault of your solution was on the problem. Now क्या हो रहा है कि companies are pointing the fingers and say, sir, look, we are already making a compensation, so you cannot ask us to behave in a particular manner. So the problem which was of a pollution because of operation of redundant technologies and machineries, that is not getting addressed, and company are simply saying that we are doing the 2% of charity, so therefore we should not be forced more. So the original problem is getting masked with the CSR activities. Goodwill is being generated, and therefore the something of this nature which was happening are not getting addressed. समझ में आ रहा है? लेकिन ये केवल आप ध्यान में रखो, इसको लिखो मत। ओके, ठीक है, जस्ट थोड़ा सा डिप्लोमेटिकली लिखना है। इनफैक्ट द होल फिलोसॉफी ऑफ सीएसआर इज नॉट पोल्यूटिंग समवेयर एंड मेकिंग कॉम्पेंसेशन। ये जो हमने प्लैनेट और पीपल लिखा था, wherever you are operating there is a negative implication. Say for example, बैलाडीला स्टील प्लांट है, या फिर छत्तीसगढ़ में स्टील प्लांट है, और कहीं पे कोल प्लांट है, जमशेदपुर में कोल प्लांट है। सो इन एंड अराउंड एरिया इज निगेटिवली अफेक्टेड, निगेटिव एक्सटर्नलिटीज, एंड इन एंड अराउंड पीपल आर फेसिंग द प्रॉब्लम। जैसे ऑक्यूपेशनल हजार्ड्स रहते हैं, या आपके पोल्यूशन के कारण उनकी जो है लाइफ थ्रेटन है। तो समथिंग विच यू हैव टू टेक इनटू अकाउंट व्हेन यू आर ऑपरेटिंग एट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। So it is not that you operate somewhere and you make later on the compensation elsewhere. Where you operate, there you take an environment and the public into consideration. In fact, I have asked about this basis of CSR जो बताया था कि they take environment from the uh, society, they make. In fact, I would have argued that they already pay the tax. Okay, जो मैंने basis बताए थे कि they take the human resource and natural resource, they cause pollution, so they are responsible. Okay, they are responsible, then let's increase the tax. अभी 30% tax दे रहे हैं, तो 30% का 32% कर दो। 2% आपको बढ़ाने हैं, 35% कर दो। How do you counter argue? I'm saying if you are wanting that they are taking so much of resources and causing pollution, I'm simply saying that increase the tax. How do you counter argue this? टैक्स और उनका बढ़ा दो, एनसीएस। हाँ, that is, हाँ, और हाँ, yes, you are right. तो एनवायरमेंट आप 5% लेके उससे भी एनवायरमेंट की एक्टिविटीज करो. नहीं नहीं, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज यू आल्सो कैन. हम्म. हम्म. हाँ, इनफैक्ट यू आर क्लोज. इनफैक्ट व्हाट हैपेंस, यू आर टेकिंग इट इन अ सेंट्रल पूल, नॉट नेसेसरीली जिस प्लांट की जो निगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशन है आप उसमें पूरा टैक्सेशन में नहीं लगाओगे. आप तो फिर पूरा सेंट्रल टैक्स का जो रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर रहेगा, नरेगा, ये वो, एनआरएचएम, और वो वाइड स्प्रेड कहीं पे भी जा सकता है, पूरे कंट्री में कहीं पे भी लग सकता है जेनेरिक सेंस में. लेकिन सीएसआर की फिलॉसफी है जहां ऑपरेट कर रहे हो वहां की एनवायरनमेंट और वहां की सोशल की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपकी है. ठीक है. Although one of the word that is used in Companies Act 2013 is preferably you should carry out the CSR activities in and around your plant of operation. But the word we use was preferably. So obviously it leaves all the space open for them to do any CSR anywhere. And that is how this negative implications are coming कि कहीं पे pollution हो रहा है और कहीं पे आप उसका compensation दे रहे हो. But still I would say that act is fine at this point of time because this is our transitional phase. Immediately if you put too much of imposition on them, then there will be a counterproductive. The company will refute that we will not do altogether because that's against the company's freedom. So it is the external body called state is imposing so much on the company. So we have to go incremental wise. So everything is not, when we say about the CSR and CSR Act or the Companies Act, everything is not good within it. So we have to take it as a positive step. That is, at least we are making them responsible in 2% of profit giving to the society. Then we can make it कहाँ पे जाना चाहिए, कैसे जाना चाहिए, etc. etc. Slowly we have to improve upon it. Okay, so और दूसरा एक निगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशन पॉलिटिसाइजेशन एक कैसे होता है. देखो ऐसे ही बता रहा हूँ, मत लिखिए बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट पुट. कई बार क्या हो जाता है ये पॉइंट से आप सीएसआर हो गए, सीएसआर इज निगेटिव. ऐसे नहीं है, सीएसआर इज पॉजिटिव. निगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशन है क्या है, पॉलिटिकल क्लास है और कॉर्पोरेट हाउस वांटेड सम टेंडर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, okay, this procurement, etc., etc. So they come to the political class obviously asking for the contract, tender, procurement, any kind of flyover बनाना है ये वो. तो पूछता है पॉलिटिशियन की सीएसआर वीएसआर कर रहे हो नहीं आजकल. हाँ सर बहुत कर रहा हूँ. तो एक काम करो ना, ये इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में थोड़ा सा 2-4 स्कूल और हॉस्पिटल खोल दो, ये हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी है. तो obviously this CSR is also like generating a goodwill for the political class कि से वहाँ पे 2-4 हॉस्पिटल खोल दिए उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, तो वो क्रेडिट ले रहा है, देखो मैंने ही ये लाया हुआ है, मैं यहाँ का जो प्रत्याशी हूँ. तो CSR इज ऑल्सो गेटिंग पॉलिटिसाइज कि मैं आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अवार्ड कर दूंगा, आपके 2% जो है मेरे कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में आप वेलफेयर के लिए स्पेंड करो. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ दिस politicization of CSR also happens? So what is a way forward? You have to be a more strict with the regulations of कहाँ पे CSR कौन सी कंपनी करेगी, जहाँ पे आप ऑपरेट कर रहे हो, जहाँ पे निगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशन हो रहे हैं या फिर है, वो चीज़ें आपको ध्यान में रखनी है. I understood. So that's about the corporate social responsibility, and in fact CSR should be seen as a one of the part of good corporate governance. Good corporate governance is not just about CSR. Okay, we have seen so many features. Okay, it is just one part of it. Now we will do the emotional intelligence and ethics and international relations. एक रह गया, ठीक है. इमोशनल ब्रेक लेते हैं अभी और इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस करते हैं ब्रेक के बाद, और फिर ethics and international relations. Hmm? Is right, emotional intelligence. EI. Is what is your understanding? Have you heard of this term? EI, EQ, IQ. What's the difference? EQ or EI is on one side and IQ on one side. Yes, what is emotional intelligence? Combination of IQ and EQ. Okay. Or IQ, sensitivity towards someone is one part of, okay, if you are emotional intelligence, then obviously that's a component within you. Or when it comes to public work, okay, management of emotions, yes, certainly it has something to do with the management of emotions. And handling of emotions. How do you handle? आप बताइए थोड़ा सा experience. कैसे filter करते हो आप? Yes, handling of emotions at your personal level or at with respect to the society. With respect to society, ऐसे पूछ लिया इसलिए कि नहीं ये दोनों हैं. Okay, so it has both the components at individual level and when it comes to dealing with others. Okay, so in fact broadly first we'll understand and then we'll discuss. Okay, this is just discussion. Pay attention. This all emotional intelligence broadly can be divided into the four things. Broadly, okay. The word we have uses handling of emotions or management of emotions. Management of emotions. Now, how this management of emotions has a four components. You can just take this also, like if it's about I and others. Now it has four components. Let's come at personal level, I, or at self level, and with respect to others. Now think of when you are angry, okay, and take this into consideration that when you are angry, you took some decision, okay, and later on you have obviously felt repentance about it, that you have thought that if I would not have taken the decision in anger, okay, the course of action would have been different. Now you are repenting, but already the loss and the damage has already happened. Think of more extreme cases. You failed in something and then you went into depression to an extent that you think that there is no, yes, worthiness. Other way, okay, your life is not worthy. You may even think of committing suicide, alienated from the world, etc. Okay, think of all such cases when there was a negativity within you and which has overpowered you and you end up in taking the decisions. So in all such cases, at individual level also, emotional management has a role to play in order to channelize the emotions. So first thing here required is, many times it happens that at that fit of anger or in that emotional thing when I was involved, so I took the decision, I got carried away, okay, and later on you feel that that was not a rational decision. Now emotional intelligence, if you want to manage, okay, that in such cases you should not take the decision, etc., etc. So there are certain things. First and the foremost thing is, you first need to understand that at a given situation, these are the negative emotions. Okay, I am angry, I am feeling jealous, there is a sense of hatred, there is a reactionary thing which is going on in your mind. I am tense, I am depressed, there is a pressure on me. Okay, so first thing that is required for the self management is understanding the emotions at individual level, understanding of one's own emotions, that you should pursue. Yes, this is what is happening at the given point of time. And second, naturally, will be that is management of emotions. Management of emotions. understanding of emotions and management of emotions. Now, see, the management of emotions does not mean abandoning of emotion. It's not abandoning or suppressing altogether. Depending upon which is the emotions, you have to show the optimum. Like in case of anger, jealous, frustration, this thing, obviously here you may require to abandon it. But the word management is what is required, what is a positive thing that obviously required to be shown. Okay, love, care, compassion, etc. All other positive things which will drive you, like motivation. Okay, keeping oneself motivated is also a function of emotions that you are depressed. So management emotion is you have to remove the suppress the feeling of depression, alienation. At the same time, you have to increase the feeling of motivation, optimism, positivity. Okay, therefore you can contribute. So at individual level, it has two parts: understanding the emotions and then management of emotions. Then second is obviously here also the same thing: understanding the emotions of others. Understanding emotions of others. That you must understand what the other person is going through. Like, say, for example, we have discussed empathy and compassion, particularly the weaker section of society. They are going through the bad phase or bad situation, worst situation. We need to understand with them. Now, this is one only. That is something which is a positive. It can be negative also, like people are criticizing you, people are speaking bad against you. Any kind of thing also is there. People also get angry. It's not your anger; it's the people's anger here. Now, in all such situation, think of it also happens many a times when the person is angry on you. To start with, you are not angry with the person, but he or she has said something to you. And then, even when you are not angry, but in that fit of anger, you have reactionary reacted to the person, then the matter has escalated further and caused the damage to both of you. And later on, again, you are thinking, even when I was not angry, यहाँ पे तो आप anger थे, यहाँ पे तो somebody else was there, but I end up in not taking the good decision. So at this point of time, when you understand that person is angry and this is what the person essentially does not hold for you, you know that this may be the part of a transitional time, and rather than getting involved into the exchange of words or showing in so-called reactionary attitude or knee-jerk reaction to the person, you take it in a more rational manner. And here, there is a management of interpersonal relation. In fact, understanding the emotions of others, and then once you have understood the emotions of others, then you will have your rational behavior. Why? That is a management of interpersonal relations. Okay, here there is a management of interpersonal relations. ना हियर आप हम ये लिख रहे हैं कि मैनेजमेंट ऑफ इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस. यहाँ पे हम ये नहीं लिख सकते कि अंडरस्टैंडिंग द इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट ऑफ इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स. आप उनमें घुस के वो नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है. यहाँ पे आप खुद के ऊपर व्हाट यू कैन मैक्सिमम डू, यू कैन कंट्रोल योर बिहेवियर with respect to the emotions of others. Now, civil services point of view देखा जाए तो this is very important concept because in this case एक तरफ तो empathy compassion तो आपको show करना ही करना है, but think of sometimes there are unreasonable demands by a group of people. Okay, and you are working in an organization, like you are an IAS officer, so most of the times you will see that there is a perennial protest by different group of people. Okay, whenever whatever there is a district magistrate, if you see in front of the district magistrate, there is always a group of people who are sitting in front of your office, okay, demanding something. You are just in part, you are in a chain of implementation. So you really, if the government has done some decision, you really cannot do about it, but there will be in protest in front of the house of the district magistrate or in the office of district magistrate. So you may find it unreasonable. Sometimes even if reasonable, but there is a resource constraint. Demands are reasonable, but resources are not available. Demands are unreasonable, but India has this freedom of speech and expression, so they also can demand that government should change the policy. So there can be a n number of things that's happening every day. And in such cases, there may be an anger. So whenever there will be an escalation and more intensification of protest and etc. So in all such cases, you need to be rational to understand their sentiments from their point of view rather than reactionary involved. Now, if you start taking an arbitrary action against them, then it will again escalate further and it may snowball into the larger controversy in district. Some people, like, if you ask the police force to act and give them the orders, like, go ahead because this is an unreasonable demand. Now think of, you are causing in more damage because you haven't understood their perspectives. Okay, so here, whenever there is a protest, whenever there are such things, forget about the protest. Protest is something which, again, we are seeing in a formal point of view is acceptable. Think of a mob mentality and something, they are coming and vandalizing the property, etc., etc., or somebody, some person from the Jilla Parishad is coming and speaking against you, verbal abuse. So you cannot also involved into the exchange of same words and involved into the same kind of the language, because maybe you will be also land in trouble later on. So how to have a behavior, that is where you need to, that is a management of emotions, because ultimately in all such crisis time situation, okay, it's there is always a tendency to move out from the rational behavior and end up in taking the decisions which is not so rational, and in fact it will put you in the bad limelight. Also it may cause the damage to your career also, it may cause the damage with respect to your services also. So there is a lot of stake here with respect to civil servants point of view. But civil servants, we are going to see later, emotional intelligence is an important thing for the success of human beings. In fact, I'm introducing here the most important person, that is David Goleman. Okay, David Goleman is a final authority on this subject, and he has popularized the concept of emotional intelligence. In fact, this theory of emotional intelligence is a very new innovation in the theories of leadership. Now, David Goleman has wrote one book, that is Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ. This was his book, Emotional Intelligence, Why EI Matters More Than IQ. This was his book's name. ऐसे नहीं लिखा है Emotional Intelligence, Why EI Matters More Than IQ. So in this book, the summary of this book is, otherwise this is also a very good read for the success. किसी आप मैनेजमेंट और लीडर्स के घर में जाओगे तो रखा रहता है बुक, डेविड गोलमैन बुक्स, कलेक्शन करके रखो थोड़ा सा, वो भी रहता है, सॉफ्ट पावर है ये सब, ठीक है. So emotional intelligence, why it matters more than IQ. His summary of this book is, he reached to the conclusion and he has asserted that success of a person, okay, only 10% depends upon the IQ, and he says that 90% success of a person with respect to public life depends upon EI, that how effectively he manages the emotions well within oneself and with respect to the others. In fact, he has carried out many seminars, projects, trainings, leadership conferences. Now, in management and everywhere in the leadership, this is the theme. In fact, we have focus upon the democratic leadership, etc. So he said that, think of a person who was the most intelligent in the school, and whether that most intelligent person, okay, sort of having a, we say that the wicked and the weird sort of attitude he has, whether he is the most successful person. And then he asked the people to think of a person who is very social, very good in communication, very good in dealing with the people by and large, and think of that person and what he is doing, how he is successful in life. So he has done a lot of research, and finally he has concluded, he is not saying that IQ is not important, but he's saying that IQ will have no impact publicly if you don't possess the EI. बहुत बार हम ये बोलते हैं कि बहुत he is very intelligent but he don't have any sense of how to handle the people. In bureaucracy also, couple of times we say that he is very good fellow, he is very intelligent, but he is very short tempered. Okay, he end up in taking, he does not communicate, he this, that, etc. So in fact, the leadership theories and David Goldman has focused immensely on these concepts because this will help the leaders in dealing with his subordinates, his colleagues, his public, by and large at his own individual level also, in order to keep himself happy, because that component is also not be missed. Only a person who is happy and satisfied can contribute more effectively for the society. So first, being sorted at individual level, the person who is happy, which is more sorted emotionally at individual level, is only the one who contribute for the larger. अगर आप ही में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो ऑब्वियसली इनफैक्ट इसका नेगेटिव इम्प्लीकेशन भी हो जाता है. यू गिव वेंट टू योर फीलिंग्स इन पब्लिक प्लेसेस and therefore you also cause more and more damage. Okay, so that is how we have to learn. This was, in fact, this is it about emotional intelligence, but we have to now see in a more organized fashion. This I have just mentioned because all the emotional intelligence falls into this particular sort of thing. Okay, now write something that is first, that is meaning of emotional intelligence. Meaning of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is management of emotions, intelligently. Management of emotions intelligently. In other words, emotional intelligence involves use of cognitive abilities to manage the emotions in the interest of oneself and with respect to others. In the interest of oneself and with respect to others. In the next line you can write emotional intelligence, that is management of emotions, is not about suppressing the emotions altogether, or it is neither about suppressing the emotions altogether. It is neither about suppressing emotions altogether, nor it is about showing emotional excess or displaying emotional excess. Rather it is about optimal utilization of emotions. Optimal utilization of emotions for the benefit of oneself, and for others. Okay, the next line you can write definition given by David Goldman. Definition of emotional intelligence given by David Goldman. Okay, right. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is a capacity to recognize our own feelings. Our own feelings, and those of others, comma, for motivating oneself, for motivating oneself, comma, and for managing emotions, and for managing emotions well within oneself, well within oneself, and well within oneself, and with respect to our relationship, and with respect to our relationship. Okay, let's put in attention now. Like, it's not at all a difficult definition if you understand. Okay, this is all about this part. See what the David Goldman is saying: capacity to understand the emotions of oneself and that of others. So this is part. First part they are talking about, that is capacity to understand one's emotions and that of others in order to keep oneself motivated and manage the emotions well within oneself and with respect to the relationship. Okay, so first step is naturally first you need to understand before management. So understand individual level, understand societal level, manage at individual level, and manage at societal level. Huh. That we are going to do now. Okay, right. The 5 parts of emotional intelligence, as per the definition of David Goldman. 5 parts of emotional intelligence, 5 parts of emotional intelligence, as evident in David Goldman's definition, as evident in David Goldman's definition. Okay, so एक्चुअली वो 4 ही पार्ट है, लेकिन इसको उन्होंने दो दो एंगल में लिखा हुआ है. I'll explain. So first is self awareness. First is self awareness. Self awareness. Self awareness क्या होगा? That is a understanding one's own emotions. कि पहले आपको अवेयर होना है कि हाँ, आई एम एंग्री, आई एम जेलस, आई एम फ्रस्ट्रेटेड, आई एम काइंड, एक्सेट्रा. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग वंस इमोशंस, self awareness, understanding one's emotions. Second is self management. Self management. After having understood the emotions, you have to manage your own emotions. Okay, management of emotions involves regulating the emotions to the desired direction. Regulating the emotions to the desired direction. Desired direction. Okay. अच्छे इमोशंस है तो उसको सप्रेस भी नहीं करना है, ठीक है. बुरे को सप्रेस करना पड़ेगा, अच्छे को लाना पड़ेगा. अब अच्छा बुरा क्या है, दैट्स ऑल्सो सब्जेक्टिव, ठीक है. दिस सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट. थर्ड इज सेल्फ मोटिवेशन. सेल्फ मोटिवेशन. सी द सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट वाला ही सेल्फ मोटिवेशन होता है. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग द ब्रॉडली, अगर आप फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो तो आप क्या करोगे? मोटिवेट करो. मैनेजमेंट मतलब क्या है? मैनेजमेंट इज एवरीथिंग. व्हेनेवर नेगेटिव इज देयर, देन सेल्फ मोटिवेशन. And during the time of frustration, if you are angry, then you have to suppress it. Okay, so self motivation is also the self part only, broader part of self management. Self motivation, you can say that during the time of crisis, during the time of crisis, adversities, setbacks, during the time of crisis, adversities, setbacks, one needs to keep oneself motivated. During the time of adversities, crisis, setbacks, blunt word नहीं लिखा है, failures भी है वो, ठीक है. Failures in personal relationship, हाँ ये है इसमें. In fact, हाँ, you end up. So what is the break? डीके रवि की केस पता है क्या? नहीं पता है तो अच्छा है, कहाँ पे चले गए यहाँ पे? बताइए आप। हम्म नहीं पता है, शर्मा रहे आप, ठीक है। He had a girlfriend. Okay, let's not discuss the personal matters, okay? But yes, emotional intelligence is required when something may not be happening in your favor, okay? You may end up in taking the decision which may not be in a very good interest. Okay, so that's a self-motivation. Self-motivation समझ में आया? Self-motivation is a, हाँ, sentence is when self-motivation whenever you are in the crisis, okay, or failures, setbacks, one needs to keep oneself motivated. Needs to keep oneself motivated. Okay, move on in life. Okay, I have moved on ऐसे types में. Okay, ये अब समझ गया होगा. ठीक है, प्यार का पंचनामा देखा है क्या? देखिए फिर. ठीक. अरे चलो यहाँ पे सिविल सर्विस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से करना है. लिखिए. नेक्स्ट लिखिए. तुम भी देखा है सेकंड? समझ में नहीं आता. इमोशनल क्रैश है वो तो एकदम, मतलब समझ में नहीं आएगा क्या हो रहा है. अंदर गुड मूवी. अंडरस्टैंडिंग द इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स. अंडरस्टैंडिंग इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स. नेक्स्ट, थर्ड पॉइंट, दैट इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स. फोर्थ, हाँ, फोर्थ कौन सा पॉइंट लिखा है? हाँ, फोर्थ, अंडरस्टैंडिंग इमोशंस ऑफ अदर्स. हाँ, यस, आप क्या पूछ रहे थे, अब पूछिए. Yes, it involves both. In fact, that is what we are going to write here. See, the first, let me explain. Understanding emotions of others. Let's say that somebody is angry. Okay. Now, first, understanding involves, yes, you need to first understand that somebody is angry on you. Emotional intelligence go and next stage also, that anger is for what reason, okay, whether it is a reasonable anger or what is the underlying cause, that you also should understand. Let's take an example, like you are working in an organization and you have a very good rapport with your boss, okay, and you are very punctual, hardworking, important asset for organization, and in fact, your boss reveres you a lot for your functioning. On a given day or a fine day, like he asks you to come to his cabin, and early morning he is asking for your files, which you couldn't finish, or you even think that this is not reasonable on his part because the time is still remaining, etc., etc. And then he blasted like anything. Okay, you are not doing these days, these and that, and etc., etc. A hell lot of thing. Now, first is you understand that he is an angry. Now, in this case, if you understand that if this is an unreasonable criticism and there is no merit in him, what he is saying, you may also react immediately that this is not correct, etc., etc. Or thoda sa wo ho gaya to you may in fact say something which might threaten your career also, or for that matter, something, the relationship between you and your senior fellow, okay, being an strain in the relationship, that it's very difficult for you to function or yes, work with him in the longer run. Now, the thing is that you know that later on you have, say for example, you have done everything like scolded him, you have also reacted badly on him, etc., etc. And somewhere later on, when you are tendering resignation or getting suspended, etc., you are knowing that I knew that boss was not angry with me, but still I would have considered, I should not have reacted. Now, this understanding that anger is one thing, and interpretation of anger, for what reason he is angry, whether he is really angry with respect to your work, or whether he has some problem back at his home and coming and this venting his emotions on you, okay, क्या पता स्पाउस के साथ सुबह सुबह झगड़े हो गए, ओके, या फिर ड्राइवर के साथ सुबह झगड़े हो गए, टाई का कलर ठीक नहीं था, लौकी की सब्जी घर पे बनाई थी, कुछ भी हो सकता है, ठीक है. So he came into the office and he has blasted. So the understanding the emotions of others involves not only the understanding of emotions, but also the reasoning that what is the interpretation of emotions. In fact, that is what we have to also understand. When the protest is there, there is a anguish. Like say, for example, case of demonetization. डिमोनेटाइजेशन की केसेस में यहाँ पे एसबीआई की अकाउंट बैंक है, बहुत लंबी लाइन लगी हुई है. There is only one SBI this thing ATM in a vicinity, and then a lot of chaos is happening, and you are a public administrator or a police person. Now, in such situation, when even when they are somewhat breaking the law in a sense that some sort of anguish is there. In such situation, so if you go very reactionary manner, giving a knee-jerk reaction, beating them mercilessly, arresting them, putting them. So this will be a more counterproductive. They will also be a more anguish, more frustration, etc., etc. Now, in such situation, you have to understand, yes, they are angry, and what is the reason for angry is the sort of the discomfort at their own level. We are not saying that there is a justification for it, but the manner in which you can manage the interpersonal relationship is you can be a more reasoned here, that persuading them that this is a matter of few days, or the administrator doing is their job in order to like tide over the crisis. Some sort of persuasion, some sort of confidence building, some sort of this thing is required. Otherwise, if you involved into that kind of activities, so obviously it will snowball into the larger controversies. Hmm. 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 हाँ, तो इमोशनल सेंसिटिविटी एंड सेल्फ कंट्रोल इज अ इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ इमोशनल, इसी का नाम इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस है. सेल्फ कंट्रोल यहाँ पे क्या हो गया, सेल्फ रिस्ट्रेन. आपको पता है एंग्री है, लेकिन फिर भी आपने इंटेलिजेंटली सेल्फ रिस्ट्रेन दिखाया, क्योंकि इन स्पाइट ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट यू नो दैट समबडी इज क्रिटिसाइजिंग यू, यू हैव शोन द सेल्फ रिस्ट्रेन rather than getting involved into the cat fight, okay, or giving a knee-jerk reaction. So you have used the self-restraint in order for the benefit of your own self, also for the benefit of others. So right, this understanding of understanding the emotions of others. This involves not only the understanding the feelings. This involves not only understanding the feelings of others, but it also involves the interpretation of emotions. And- but it also involves the interpretations of emotion. Okay, interpretations of emotions, that is what, and the reasoning with the emotions. Next is management of interpersonal relations. Management of interpersonal relations. Interpersonal relations. That after understanding the emotions, यहाँ पे ये भी लिख सकते हो, केवल वो नहीं है कि that is the protest and वाला. Here also I have mentioned about empathy and empathy also. Okay, empathizing with others is also understanding the feeling of others. Say for example, weaker section है, या फिर आपकी colleague है, छुट्टी मांगने के लिए, लीव मांगने के लिए आया है, and you know that somebody is not well back in his family. So you need to understand that empathizing with others is also part of emotional intelligence. That is use of emotions intelligently for the understanding of others. And then management of interpersonal relations. This involves managing the relations, interpersonal relations, by the effective use of emotional intelligence. By effective use of emotional intelligence. This involves, again, continuation, this involves regulating one's emotions, and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. to the emotions of others. This involves regulating one's emotions and responding appropriately to the emotions of others in the management of interpersonal relation. In the management of interpersonal relations. This also involves managing your own emotions because you may, this is a very natural, if somebody is criticizing, angry, protesting against you, you also tend to feel, to react, okay, in an impulsive manner. So आपको भी understand करना है, that is regulating emotions and responding rather than reacting. समझ में आया नहीं आया? Have you got it? हाँ, yes. Yes, how that is what your skill is. Okay, where you will see, the point is we generally do not use our cognitive ability. Okay, we take it on a face. That's what I'm saying. Many times we know, and that's why we later on repent. We know that essentially this person was not against me because of certain circumstances, because of certain things. He yelled on me, he abused, or certain things. So rather than immediately negatively reacting to it, you have to like be a more calm, composed, equanimous, stable, self-restrained in order to resonate with them. Even if you are not understanding, let's say for example, angry है, आपको reasons नहीं पता है. Still, emotional intelligence is you maintain the stability and then ask what is the reason, what is the why such and such reaction is coming from the other party. So that's the thing. It's not essential. It's not like a you are not sort of वो जो रहता है ना प्लान शीट वगैरह, हाँ कि सब कुछ आपको समझ में आ जाएगा, मन की बात. तो ऐसा नहीं है, तो आपको अटेम्प्ट करना है यहाँ पे. हाँ, यस. हाँ, सो हाँ, yes, if you know the person तो problem नहीं है. I'm even going, even if you don't know the person, then also you should maintain the restraint. बहुत बार क्या होता है, आप जब restraint करते हो तो थोड़ा थोड़ा उसका एंगर वैसे भी हो जाता है, pacifying techniques. Okay, अगर आप थोड़ा सा और react कर देते हो तो then his temperature rises, then your temperature rises, then both of you get burned into it. ठीक है, to the point of no return. ठीक है. Yes, so these are the 5 aspects of David Goleman's approach. Now write the attributes of emotionally intelligent person. Attributes of, और लिखा है क्या, थोड़ा कट करो, नोट करके लिखो डेविड गोलमैन का ऑब्जर्वेशन. नोट नहीं, एट्रीब्यूट्स नहीं, नोट करके लिखो. थोड़ा सा बुक के बारे में लिखते हैं क्या इनका ऑब्जर्वेशन है. डेविड गोलमैन in his book, David Goleman in his book Emotional Intelligence, David Goleman in his book Emotional Intelligence, why, this is a punchline of the book, why EI matters more than IQ. David Goleman in his book Emotional Intelligence, why EI matters more than IQ, asserted, success of a person depends more on EI. Success of a person depends more on EI rather than on IQ. On IQ. Okay. According to him, individual capacity to manage, according to him, individual capacity to manage his own emotions, with respect to oneself, and with respect to others, contribute more towards his success, towards his success than his intelligence. Than his intelligence. Intelligence. Okay. Emotional management, emotional intelligence may be intelligence है, but you are using the intelligence for channelizing the emotions. यहाँ पे भी intelligence का role है, but यहाँ पे केवल academic वो intelligence नहीं, intelligence to management of emotions. In fact, if intelligence will not be there, you will be swayed away by the emotions. Okay, either this way or that way. Now write the attributes of emotionally intelligent person. Attributes of emotionally intelligent person. Attributes of emotionally intelligent person. Okay. Oblique करके लिखो utility of emotional intelligence. Oblique utility. This point also can be written in the utility importance of emotional intelligence. Now, right. Emotionally intelligent person has the ability to. Emotionally intelligent person. Emotionally intelligent person has an ability to. Has an ability to. अब पॉइंट वाइज लिखो मतलब बुलेट फॉर्म में हैज एबिलिटी टू हैंडल द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स कंस्ट्रक्टिवली हैंडल द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स constructively, then deal with the uncertainty and change, deal with uncertainty and change positively, deal with uncertainty and change positively. Next, depersonalize himself, depersonalize himself from the anger and criticism of others. Depersonalize himself from the criticism and anger of others. Okay. Next, empathize with others' situation. Empathize with the others' situation. Empathize with others' situation. That is being sensitive towards the others' section. Respond positively. Respond positively. Positively. Responds positively with respect to others. Responds positively with respect to others. Next, keep oneself motivated. Keep oneself motivated during the time of crisis. During the time of crisis or adversities. Okay, in fact, this also involves keeping others, and you also keep oneself and others. इसी में add कर दो. Keep oneself and the others motivated during the time of crisis, adversities, etc. Next, has the ability to enroll, ENROLL, to enroll the people into his vision. He has the ability to enroll, ENROLL, ability to enroll others into his vision. Others into his vision. Okay. Next, deal with unreasonable people. Has the ability to deal with unreasonable people more effectively. More effectively. Unreasonable कभी कभी सरफिरे भी मिल जाते हैं रास्ते में, ठीक है? हाँ, सरफिरे के साथ लग के आप भी सरफिरे हो जाते हो, उससे बड़ा दिखा देते हो कि आप कितने सरफिरे हो. सो ही हैज एबिलिटी टू डील विद अनसर. आपका ईगो जो है आपके बीच में आ जाता है. आपको पता है कि यार वो मतलब उसका लेवल क्या है, फिर भी आपका ईगो जो है आपका लेवल चढ़ा चढ़ा देता है, नहीं मैं उससे और बेहतर हूँ उस मामले में, ठीक है। बट इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस पर्सन रियली अंडरस्टैंड कि हाँ, इट्स फ्यूटाइल टू आर्ग्यू विथ दिस पीपल, ओके। इमोशनल क्या लिखा है वो, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस पर्सन, yes, manage the unreasonable people more effectively and positively. Last, just write summary type of thing. He has the ability, he has the ability to convert, he has the ability to convert challenges into opportunities, challenges into opportunities, and has the ability and has ability to create win-win situation, has the ability to create win-win, win win-win situation, win-win situation. Sorry, win-win is ability to create win-win situation for everyone, for everyone. Okay, something like a magician. ठीक है, हाँ हो गया है, that's the last point, okay. नहीं नहीं अभी ये नहीं हुआ है, अभी थोड़ा सा लिखो, अब लास्ट लास्ट थोड़ा सा इसी में यूटिलिटी में ये भी पॉइंट, वही पॉइंट, कहानी तो यही है इतनी, उसी कहानी को थोड़ा सा, कहानी, यू शुड बी अ स्टोरी टेलर, ओके, फॉर यूपीएससी में आंसर लिखने के लिए काफी सारे आपके पास ये चाहिए। यूटिलिटी फ्रॉम सिविल सर्वेंट्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, थोड़ा सा सब हेडिंग लिखो, ये भी यूटिलिटी है, आपको थोड़ा सा आप कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लेके जाना है सिविल सर्विस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, यूटिलिटी ऑफ ईआई फ्रॉम फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज और सिविल सर्वेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। सम जनरल पॉइंट्स आई एम गिविंग, बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ द पॉइंट्स ऊपर के ही पॉइंट्स लिखने हैं। जनरल एक थोड़ा सा लिखो, ये दिखाना है कि सिविल सर्वेंट की लाइफ कितनी कॉम्प्लेक्स है और उसमें इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस कितना काम आता है, ओके राइट। सिविल सर्वेंट वर्क इन एन एटमोस्फियर ऑफ, सिविल सर्वेंट वर्क इन एन एटमोस्फियर ऑफ complexity and hostility, complexity and hostility, hostility, okay। now इस complexity और hostility को थोड़ा सा describe करते हैं, okay। civil servant faces, civil servant faces different complex situations, civil servant faces different complex situations such as political pressure, political pressure, media pressure, media pressure, pressure from public, pressure from public, comma, work family conflict, work family conflict, etc., etc. Okay. With the change in philosophy of, with the evolution of philosophy of good governance, with the evolution of philosophy of good governance, the responsibility on civil servant, the responsibility on civil servant has increased manifold, has increased manifold, okay. He is expected to, he is expected to behave in a, behave in a rational way, rational way, rational way in all the situations, in all the situations, including the time of adversities, in all the situations, including the time of adversities. Emotional intelligence will help him, emotional intelligence will help him, will help him, okay, facing these adversities, facing these adversities more effectively, more effectively. Okay. Now I'm living with one graphic, so you can use those graphic for writing the answers. बाकी ऊपर के जो point है वो तो important है ही है. ऊपर के point याद आ रहे हैं? Attributes, how he has to deal with. Yes, एक graphic है कि how he work in an atmosphere of complexities. So this is a civil servant. Okay, so dot diagram, that is, so he has to deal with his colleagues. He has to deal with his superior or higher ups. He has to deal with his subordinate. Okay, so in an organization, his efficiency, okay, he has to deal with the higher civil servant, okay, because they are giving the orders, etc., etc., colleagues, civil servants. Then he has an interface with the public. Public may, on one hand side, he has to show empathy and compassion. At the same time, okay, during the time of crisis such as protest, violence, riots, he has to show a temperament, okay, a right temperament. On one hand side, when they are in need, he has to show empathy. On one hand side, he should display the restraint. Public, while dealing with the public, emotional intelligence. Then, with respect to the media, okay, media pressure. With respect to political pressure, and with respect to family. That is, here I am writing work family conflict. A emotionally intelligent person manage work family conflict constructively so that he remains happy. Here, maintaining the good work culture, maintaining the efficiency and effectivity of his. Okay, so while dealing with different cases, so he is sandwiched from all the sides. There are different sorts of pressure. हाँ, जो आपको लग रहा है कि रेड बेकन कार लेके घूमेंगे, ओके, ऐश करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. रेड बेकन कार में कोई बैठना ही नहीं चाहता बाद में, ठीक है? Because there is a lot of, if you go into the district level, 5 बजे आपका ऑफिस खत्म हो जाता है तो 5 बजे आप निकलते ही नहीं हो, क्योंकि बाहर 4 बार प्यून को भेजते हो कि कोई बाहर प्रोटेस्ट है क्या, है क्या. जब 6, 7, 8 बज जाते हैं, उनको भूख लग जाती है तो लोग निकल जाते हैं थोड़ी देर के लिए, फिर आपकी कार निकलती है घर जाने के लिए, या फिर ऐसे ही आप दूसरे किसी गाड़ी में बैठ के चुपके से निकल जाते हो. लाइफ इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. Okay, it's that's not very easy life there we see, and most of the time your hands are also tied. Even if you agree with them, what you can essentially do, okay, there is already the framework within which you have to act. So even if you are empathizing with them, if resources are not there, if fund is not there, how will you even make a changes? You cannot give from your pocket if the government policies are contradictory to the public's viewpoint. So really you cannot do. So that becomes all the more difficult, that you get sandwiched between the two. But there is a public pressure, but still you cannot act, and still you have to act in a or behave in a more restrained manner. Work family conflict, I haven't emphasized much on this, but while writing you have to write, because although seems to be only a family management, but it's not. Most of the times it has been found that functioning of his efficiency in organization has happened because he has failed to manage the work family conflict. So something which happens at home, which angers him, so therefore there is a giving vent to his feeling at the organizational level and hampering the organizational efficiency. Yeah, it can be other way around also, like there is a lot of pressure on you to work. Okay, you are IS officer, IPS officer, etc. 8-9 बजे घर में आ रहे हो आप, आते आते बीवी बोल रही है कि लौकी की सब्जी लेके आओ, ये लेके आओ, वो लेके आओ, पानी लेके आओ, दूध लेके आओ, अब आपको लग रहा है यार वहां पे तो पूरा का पूरा फलटन वहां पे मुझे सलूट मार रहा है साफ साफ करके, यहाँ पे दूध लेके आओ बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है। हम्म। That's conflict. When you come back home, now once you come back home, there is a lot of pressure. Now say for example, something which has not happened in your way. Now giving the vent to it feeling, because there you cannot do because there is a super senior in above you. So he must have given you the orders, which where you cannot give the vent to the feeling. वहां पे तो exchange of word नहीं कर सकते। यहाँ पे आओ, पूछो लड़के को assignment नहीं किया, दो चार चाटे मारो उसको, फिर थोड़ा सा relax हो जाएगा। So actually you have brought the emotions in an organization, in a family, in order to assert yourself. Okay, so that's again should not happen either. The family emotions there. In fact, why this is not only in a formal sense, that is the one who manage the work family conflict, but at the end of the day, the happy person is the one who can contribute for the larger productivity of organization. So in fact, this is related with the work culture, job satisfaction, and the job efficiency. So once you are happy, so obviously you will contribute more. So these points should be articulated apart from the situation which I have mentioned, resource constraint, etc., etc. So that is about it with respect to emotional intelligence. In fact, you should use this attribute in almost each case studies you can use, because case studies will invariably be a conflict situation, dilemmatic situation. Take care. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we will do the ethics in international relations. Okay. और क्या बचा है? I think that's the only thing which is remaining.